Mail for you, Lee. Mom smiled as she handed me a fancy envelope. It was the first smile I'd gotten from her in days. I was still so much in trouble with her. Me and my best buds, Tommy, Gino and Ramon, got caught knocking over an announcement kiosk at our middle school the Friday night after school let out for the summer. We'd just graduated from 8th grade, so we were in high spirits. The kiosk was covered with wholesome posters for wholesome events, which for some reason pissed us off, so we knocked it over and laughed. And got caught by the cops, who almost seemed to have been expecting kids like us to do something stupid on the last day of school. Because we were minors, we were released to our mothers that night. None of us lived with our dads. My mom was not happy to see me, and I imagine it was much the same for my brothers. We had a Zoe call with some officer of the court on Monday morning, and the deal was that charges would be dismissed if we paid the cost of the damage we did, which was $2,000, $500 per family. Our mothers agreed. So we avoided having to go to court, but that didn't mean we escaped punishment. We found out later that our mothers cooked the whole thing up among themselves afterwards. The envelope that Mom handed me was oversized and fancy, with thick, creamy paper. It was addressed to Elisa Logan instead of Lee. "This isn't for me," I said. "It's for someone named Lisa." "Open it anyway," Mom said. I opened it carefully, not wanting to damage whatever it contained, and pulled out a greeting card that smelled of perfume. The cover was a painting of 4 ballerinas in filmy dresses, with the words "You're invited" written in glitter. Yuck, what a girly invitation. To what? I opened the card and read in pink ink, "Dearest Lisa, you are cordially invited to a petticoat party at the house of Tammy Simpkins, 420 Lavender Lane, 6 to 9 p.m. Saturday, June 14th. Attire, panties, petticoats and a pretty party dress. Attendance for naughty boys, mandatory." Oh my God, what was this? A party at Tommy's house, except it called him Tammy, and I had to wear a dress. "Mom, do you know what this is about?" I handed her the card. She looked at it and smiled. "Oh, yes. You and your friends were very bad boys. We're going to turn you into very good girls for the summer, and we're having a party to celebrate. You'll all wear pretty dresses and petticoats, and you'll have girls' names. Tommy is Tammy. You're Lisa. I think you'll make a very pretty Lisa." "You've got to be kidding, Mom. You can't turn me into a girl." But she could. There was nothing I could do to stop her. The next day, she took me shopping for girls' clothes. At least she had the decency to let me wear my own clothes instead of dressing me up in hers, and to drive to a mall across town instead of the nearby one where my friends hung out when they weren't online. Even so, I don't want to talk about that day. Shopping for girls' clothing was horrible. Humiliating. And it took hours. Underwear first, a week's worth of panties and training bras. Slips, camisoles, girls' socks, tights. A fluffy petticoat from a square dance shop. A pair of girls' dress shoes. And dresses. I must have tried on a dozen, but left with only 3, a really fancy pink party dress and 2 simpler cotton dresses in floral prints. "Why so many panties, Mom? Your boys' undies are old and worn out. You might as well start wearing panties instead. You'll need them for the petticoat party, and you'll find them softer and more comfortable." "I can't wear panties, Mom." "Why not? Do you show your underwear to kids at school?" "Of course not." "Do you have to change for phys ed?" "They canceled it this year. We're studying racism instead." "Then you have nothing to worry about. You'll wear panties every day from now on." "Aw, Mom. Why do I need more than one dress?" "So you can practice wearing a dress at home without getting your party dress dirty." "I have to practice wearing a dress? With a petticoat?" "Girls don't wear those things anymore. They do under fancy dresses like your pink one, dear. A petticoat fluffs out your skirt and makes you prettier." "I don't want to be pretty, Mom." "All girls want to be pretty, darling." "But I'm not a girl." "This summer, you will be. A girl named Lisa. Unless you want to go to jail." All I have to do is refuse to pay the $500, and a judge will order you detained. Yikes! Would they really put a kid like me in jail? Juvenile hall? I'd heard stories, and didn't want to find out if they were true. How long do I have to be Lisa? All summer, and if you're not a good girl, I might send you back to school in skirts. How would you like to wear a girl's school uniform? Mom. You wouldn't. Girls at our school don't wear uniforms. I could buy you a bouncy little pleated tartan skirt, a slip, a frilly white blouse. Knee socks and Mary Janes, or maybe saddle shoes. Put your hair in a high ponytail, tied with a ribbon. Oh, you'd be so cute. Mom. Please. No. Or you could be a very good girl this summer and do just as I say, and maybe you can have your boy clothes back for school. Yes, please, Mom. I'll do anything. Good. I want you to dress as a girl every day this summer. That should keep you out of trouble. She said I would wear one of my cotton dresses every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and my other cotton dress every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. The party dress was for Saturdays. If I wanted to go to a friend's house, I would have to wear a dress. If I had friends over, they would see me in a dress. Boys' clothes were strictly off limits for the duration. Understand, Lisa? Mom said. Let's get you changed into your new clothes. What, right now? The party's not till a week from Saturday. What did I just say? Girls' clothes all summer. And you need to practice for the party. I'll teach you how to behave like a girl. Why do I need to behave like a girl, if the other girls at the party are actually boys? Because I'll be there, along with the other girls' moms, and we'll expect all of you to be perfect little ladies. You'll introduce yourselves as girls, play some fun girls' games and show off your party dresses. No video games. This sounded horrible. Did the other guys know? Was this really happening to them, too? I was afraid to mention anything about having to wear girls' clothes, just in case it was a hoax. Maybe Mom was doing this to scare me, and none of my brothers had actually been put into panties. Come with me, she said. I followed her into the bathroom, where she made me take a bubble bath. She shampooed and conditioned my hair. I was shocked when she got out a lady's razor and shaved my legs. They weren't very hairy, but she said girls' legs needed to be perfectly smooth. She also shaved my armpits, but decided my arms and chest didn't need shaving. When I stepped out of the tub, smelling like a field of lavender, she helped me rub moisturizer into my skin, especially my legs, and showed me how to wrap a towel around my chest, the way girls do. You're too young to have breasts, she said, but a girl should always cover her nipples. She parted my longish hair in the center instead of the side and tucked it behind my ears, the way a girl might wear it. She took me to our guest room, where she had all my new clothes laid out on the bed. She dressed me as a girl for the first time. A girl, not a woman. A girl younger than my 14 years, though the clothes were my size. Let's start with these cute Disney princess panties, she said. She handed me the top pair from a stack of panties, each of which was decorated with a different cartoon princess. Slip them on under your towel. Oh God! I pulled them up my legs so I wouldn't be naked, but talk about embarrassing. They were soft cotton, with tiny lace trim around the leg holes, and they were covered with pictures of Cinderella in a blue dress. And a Disney princess training bra, she said, handing me something like a very short tank top, but with tiny shoulder straps edged with lace. One cup showed Elsa from Frozen, and the other showed what's her name, her sister. The bra was stretchy and didn't have the usual back closing. Mom showed me how to pull it on over my head instead. It, too, was soft cotton. Somehow, it was even more humiliating than the panties. Boys could wear briefs, but no boy wore anything like a bra. The combination of the panties and training bra and my hair made me look like a girl. Please don't do this to me, Mom, I said. To my shame, I started to cry. Not heavily, but tears ran down my cheeks. Mom gave me a tissue to dry my eyes. I'm sorry you don't like it, Lee, but what you and your friends did was a crime that will cost us a lot of money, and you have to pay the consequences. Your friends' mothers are turning them into girls, too, and they'll be as embarrassed as you are, and they'll have to come to the petticoat party in a dress, just like you will. Sit on the bed. She handed me a pair of thin socks that barely reached my ankles and had lace frills around the top. I pulled them on, and she fluffed the frills so they were even. More girly goop. Next came a pair of girls' dress shoes in white patent leather with heels an inch tall and a narrow strap that buckled across my foot. The kind of shoes young girls wear to church, or when they're the flower girl at a wedding. Mom wasn't just making me look girlish. She was making me look younger, too, which made it even more embarrassing. Stand up, Mom said. She picked up the petticoat. It was made of 3 tiers of stiff netting trimmed with ribbon, with a softer layer underneath. This goes under your dress. She held its elastic waistband open at about knee height. Step in. Do I really have to wear this, Mom? It's so girly. Can't I just wear the dress? No. The invitation says petticoats, and your dress needs the support. I reluctantly stepped into the petticoat. She pulled it up to my waist. It fell down to about my knees. Swivel your hips, Mom said, and showed me how. I copied her and felt the petticoat swirl around me. Isn't that a pretty feeling? She said. I've always liked having a full skirt swishing around my legs. It's such a feminine feeling, and I hope you learn to appreciate it. A petticoat feels even nicer under a dress. Speaking of which, she held up the garment on the bed. Isn't it lovely? I would have chosen the word sickening instead. It was a party dress for a girl of 8 or 10, though it was my size. It was made of 2 layers of pink fabric, a shiny satin layer underneath that you couldn't see through, and a lighter layer of sheer pink fabric on top. The top of the dress, the bodice, Mom called it, had a round neckline and fit snugly, with no room for the boobs I didn't have. It was dotted with tiny pearls sewn to the outer layer. The waistline had a fabric flower in the front, from which a waistband ran around the dress and turned into a sash that tied in the back. More tiny pearls decorated the hem of the dress, which was just barely long enough to cover the petticoat. The sleeves of the dress were short, puffy confections also sprinkled with tiny pearls. Mom pulled the dress down over me, zipped it up, tied the sash in a bow and back and smoothed the skirt, making the petticoat rustle. It was a totally girly dress, the kind of very young lady fond of frills would wear to church or a wedding or a formal event. In the mirror, I no longer looked like a boy. All I really needed was a girl's haircut. Well, that and lipstick, Mom said, and opened a tube of bright pink lip color. Oh, please, no, Mom. I look too much like a girl already. Nonsense, she said. Young girls don't always wear makeup, but you certainly will for the petticoat party. I'll just do your lips and nails for now. She had me pucker up and applied the lipstick, which had a faint flowery scent. I peeked in the mirror and blushed at the sight of my pink lips. Hold out your hands on the counter, she said, and opened a tiny bottle of pink nail polish, the same color as my lips. She painted my fingernails with 1 coat of polish. While I waited for it to dry, she took a pink hair ribbon out of a drawer, ran it through my hair and tied it in a bow on top of my head. Then she added a 2nd coat of nail polish. We'll get you a salon manicure for the party, but this will do for the moment, she said. Take a look at yourself, Lisa. I looked in the mirror and saw Lisa. There was no more Lee. I was a pretty tween girl in a frilly pink dress that swished around me when I moved, with my white petticoat occasionally peeking out below the hem. The ribbon in my hair, the lipstick, the fingernail polish, the lace-trimmed anklets and girls' dress shoes completed the illusion of femininity. Don't you look pretty, Mom said. Give me a twirl. I spun around, and saw my skirt bell out under the bow at the back of my dress, and that's all it took to bring tears to my eyes. Oh, Mom. You've turned me into a girl. Not quite, Lisa, she said. There are a few more things we need to do. I'll take you to my salon for a proper haircut. Maybe we'll give you hair extensions and a manicure and pedicure, a mani/pedi. Then we need to get your ears pierced. Maybe little pearl studs, to match your dress. We'll take you to the perfume counter to find a scent that's right for you. And you'll need jewelry and accessories. A fake pearl necklace, a couple of bracelets and a ring or two. Oh, and you'll need a purse and a pocketbook. Pink, of course. Of course. Everything about me was pink now, except my Disney princess panties and training bra. That'll make it even worse, Mom. Earrings. Perfume. Jewelry. Are all these things happening to my friends, too? I haven't seen what they'll wear, Lisa, but I'm sure their mothers will dress them appropriately for the petticoat party. Oh, no. I'd been so focused on my new clothes that I'd temporarily forgotten why I had to wear them. The petticoat party at Tommy's house. Or Tammy, as he was now called. Tammy wasn't so bad as a name. It was less girly than Lisa. Gino would probably become Gina, and Ramon presumably would be Ramona. Lisa, Tammy, Gina, Ramona, what a humiliating thought. Would our moms make us call each other by our girl names? Probably. Ugh. I had to wear my pink dress until dinner time, when Mom told me to take it off to avoid spilling anything on it. She took me back to the guest room, the Lisa room, and helped me out of the dress. I started to slide my petticoat down my legs, but she made me leave it on. Hang up your dress nicely, she said. I put it on a hanger and hung it in the closet, by the other 2 dresses Mom bought me. Which of your other dresses do you want to wear for dinner? She asked. Neither of them, I said. She smacked my bottom through my petticoat. It didn't hurt, but it shamed me. Pick one, she said. I chose the mostly blue dress instead of the mostly red one. Blue, a boy's color. Ha! Not when it was the background for little pink roses and delicate green vines on a soft cotton print. Like my pink dress, the blue dress had a snug bodice and full skirt so that it, too, could be worn with a petticoat. It had a white Peter Pan collar and white cuffs on its elbow-length sleeves. It looked like a teenage girl's dress from an old TV show. Mom lifted it over my head. I thrust my hands into the sleeves. She pulled it down, zipped me up and smoothed my skirts. My, how pretty you look. I suppose I was. I was in sort of a state of shock by now, seeing myself transformed into a girl wearing a juvenile party dress and petticoat and bright pink lips and nails. Girls didn't dress like this now. They mostly wore pants or leggings and a cute top, and if they wore a skirt, it would be shorter and tighter than any of my dresses. If real girls saw me, they would laugh, and if they found out I was actually a boy, they would humiliate me even further, though I couldn't imagine what would be worse than being dressed like this. Actually, I could easily imagine what would be worse. Having to go on a date with a straight boy or a gay one or another cross-dressed one. I was probably cute enough to fool a lot of guys, as long as I kept their hands and other appendages away from my crotch. Having to wear a girl's swimsuit and go to a pool party. Having to give my friends a fashion show and model all my new clothes, including my Disney princess undies. Letting my friends dress me up like a doll in their prettiest clothes. I clearly had to stay out of the sight of girls until Mom let me dress as a boy again. Also out of the sight of boys, who would swarm around a girl dressed like me and tease her and beat her up if they found something unexpected in her panties. In fact, the only other kids I dared face were Tammy, Gina and Ramona, because they would be dressed as fussily as I was. At least I hoped so. My pink dress was awfully cute. By that I mean that it was so cute that it was awful. I wondered if the mothers at the party were going to hand out prizes for cutest girl, cutest dress and who knows what else, cutest panties. I devoutly hoped I wouldn't win. If there was a cuteness contest, I wanted to come in last. With school out for the summer, Mom made me dress up as a girl every day until the petticoat party. My protests were useless. I alternated between my blue and red floral print dresses 6 days a week, and wore the pink party dress only on Saturdays. Mom had me start helping her in the kitchen and cleaning up after meals, and made me wear a white cotton bib apron with ruffled shoulder straps that tied behind me in another pretty bow. The apron will protect your dresses, she said. I felt even more ridiculous in an apron, but I realized that I needed to protect my pink dress so that I wouldn't look bad at the petticoat party. Girls needed to be cleaner and neater than boys. Imagine having a ketchup stain or a grease spot on the dress. The others would notice and think less of me for it. I grew more apprehensive about the petticoat party as the days passed. Mom was giving me daily training in girl skills: how to curtsy, how to walk, how to sit, how to stand, all so different from the ways boys moved, and everything I learned made me look and feel more feminine. Real girls could be proud and competitive these days, but Mom taught me to be a stereotype of a girl from an era when women were subservient to men, and when women's clothes, indeed, women's entire lives, were different from men's in every way. 3 days before the party, Mom gave me another garment I didn't want, a second petticoat. She made me wear it on top of my other petticoat. The new petticoat was made of a shiny white fabric called taffeta that rustled loudly under my dress. I asked why I had to wear it. "Because your skirts are full enough for 2 petticoats," she said. "And the taffeta one rustles so deliciously, it's the sound they used to call frou-frou. It'll make you even more feminine. Remember your petticoat party invitation? It said petticoats, plural." Yes, I remembered. I just didn't want to wear the thing. Didn't want to make my dresses stand out even further. Fuller skirts would make it hard for me to see my feet. I would have to walk more carefully, especially up and down stairs. My curtsies would be wider and harder to manage, as I would have to grasp both petticoats through my dress before doing my dip. At this point, I just surrendered. Mom knew exactly what she wanted of me. I had to do what she said unless I wanted to enter the juvenile justice system. So I dressed as she told me. I moved as she told me. I behaved as she told me. I became Lisa. Being Lisa at home was better than being Lee behind bars where, as Mom reminded me, my looks would quickly make me the girlfriend of someone not of my choosing. The day of the petticoat party arrived. The day of doom. I spent the morning at Mom's salon, being made beautiful. The girls at the salon knew I was a boy, but called me Lisa and treated me as if I was a girl, which was decent of them. The whole thing was embarrassing enough. I don't think I could have taken it if they'd made fun of me for being a boy. They started by removing what little body hair I had and moisturizing my skin. They added hair extensions that fell to the middle of my back. They trimmed my hair in front to give me eyebrow-length bangs, and separated the rest of my hair into little girl pigtails that were tied with pink ribbons and made me look a year younger. They gave me a Monty/Petty and appropriate makeup for a teenage girl. They pierced my ears with little pearl studs that matched the tiny pearls on my pink dress. Mom drove me home and watched as I put on my lingerie, including both petticoats. She zipped me into my pink dress and tied my sash in a bow behind me. She showed me how to rub baby oil on my bare legs to make them look nice without wearing stockings. She fastened a string of pearls around my neck and handed me a pearl bracelet and ring. She checked my purse to make sure it contained makeup, tissues, my pocketbook, and an extra pair of Disney princess panties, Snow White this time. I wasn't sure why I needed panties in my purse, but she said it was important. "Oh, Lisa, you are gorgeous. Your friends will be so jealous of you. None of them can possibly look as feminine as you." "Gee, thanks, Mom," I said. She ignored my tone. "Do you have your present for Tammy?" I sighed. "Do I really have to give it to him? Her?" "Yes, you do, young lady. I'm sure she'll love it." My present for Tammy was a waltz-length nightgown and robe in pale yellow chiffon. I wondered what the other girls' boys would give him. Probably nothing so sexy. I didn't choose it, Mom did, and I dreaded what he would think of me for giving him such a feminine gift. Mom checked me out in a full-length mirror before we left. She adjusted my dress and touched up my hair until she was satisfied with how I looked. I was Lisa. She drove us over to Tammy's house on Lavender Lane and knocked on the door. Tammy opened it. Oh my God! My friend was wearing a calf-length lavender dress that, if anything, was frillier than mine. My dress didn't have lace trim around the neckline, hem and sleeves. Mine didn't have tiny bells sewn into the slightly asymmetrical hem to tinkle gently as I moved. I wasn't wearing a padded bra to give me a fake bosom, though my frozen training bra was just as embarrassing as Tammy's fake tits. And I wasn't wearing lace gloves, or a stylish little hat made of more lavender lace, ribbon, and a fabric flower. Hi, Lisa, he said in an unnaturally high voice that was not quite falsetto. Hi, Tammy, I said, raising my voice a little, but not that much. Well, please come in, Tammy said, and gracefully curtsied to us. I think he was even more feminine than I was. I curtsied to her oh, hell, I'll call him her, and followed Mom inside. Tammy led us to the living room, where I saw Gino and Ramon in outfits that rivaled ours for sheer femininity. I was right about their names. Gino wore a black satin maid's uniform with white petticoats that stuck out below the hem of the dress, a white satin apron, a maid's cap and 3-inch black patent stilettos that made her ankles wobble. Ramona wore a floor-length champagne hoop skirt, all lace-trimmed ruffles, that might have been an older sister's quinceañera dress. As the nominal hostess, Tammy formally introduced me to Gina and Ramona and their mothers. At our mother's direction, we curtsied to each other, gave each other air kisses, and exchanged compliments. Ramona looked particularly uncomfortable in his dress, so much so that I struggled to think of him as her. He was the most macho of us, so having to wear dresses must have made him feel even more ashamed than I was. I told Gina I liked her perfume, and I told Ramona that her dress was amazing. Which it was, though perhaps not in the way his mother intended. Tammy's mother, Mrs. Simpkins, spoke up. We have party favors for all our pretty guests today, she said, and handed small gift bags to each of the cross-dressed boys. I opened mine, and found a choker made of white lace threaded with pink ribbons that tied at the back of the neck. It had a little pink fabric flower on the front. Mom tied mine and centered it on my neck. I got my compact out of my purse and examined my new feminine accessory. It would have been cute on a real girl. On me, it was just an extra dose of humiliation. I noticed that the ribbons in each guest's choker matched the color of her dress: pink for me, lavender for Tammy, black for Gina, champagne for Ramona. Whoever made the chokers must have talked to all the other moms to coordinate the colors. This whole thing was a conspiracy of our mothers. Lisa has a gift for Tammy, my mother said. She handed it to me. Give it to her with a nice curtsy, she said. I dutifully curtsied to Tammy, not as gracefully as she had, and offered her my mom's present. I won't call it mine. This is for you, Tammy. Thank you very much, Lisa, Tammy said. Give Lisa a nice kiss, her mother said. Tammy obediently kissed me on the lips. She opened her gift and held up the frilly chiffon nightgown and robe. Oh, they're very pretty, she said. You can wear them tonight, Tammy's mother said. I realized that I was the only one who brought a present for my hostess, and felt bad about it. I'd embarrassed Gina and Ramona, who didn't bring gifts, and I'd embarrassed Tammy by assuming she wanted more female nightwear. It was all Mom's doing, not mine. Thank you, Lisa, that was kind of you, Tammy's mother said. Now, how about some girls' party games? We'll start with one called What Color Are My Panties? I'd never heard of it. It didn't sound like a game I wanted to play. Each of you in turn will describe in detail every article of clothing you're wearing, its color, fabric, decoration, and purpose, and will show as much of it as you can to the rest of us while trying not to let us see your panties. The first girl who correctly identifies the color of your panties is the winner of the turn. Let's start with Tammy. Prompted by her mother, Tammy started describing her clothes. My dress is lavender muslin and has a sweetheart neckline, 3/4 fitted sleeves and a skirt that's calf length in front and ankle length in back. It's trimmed with matching lace and has tiny bells sewn into its hem that ring lightly when I walk. I guess the purpose of my dresses is to make me look pretty and to hide my underwear. Oh, and the bells tell my mom where I am in the house. When she lifted the outer layer of her petticoat to describe it in turn, the inner layer of soft nylon was just sheer enough to reveal purple panties. Tammy's wearing purple panties, Gina said. Is Gina right? Show us your panties, Tammy, her mother said. Tammy shamefacedly lifted the last layer of her petticoat to expose purple nylon briefs decorated with lace and a ribbon bow. Gina wins. Good girl, Gina, Tammy's mother said. She clapped enthusiastically, and the rest of us joined her with varying degrees of fervor. I was next. I described and revealed each layer of my dress, petticoat and training bra, and managed to do so without revealing my panties. Does anyone want to guess the color of Lisa's panties? Tammy's mother asked. I'll bet they're pink, Tammy said. Is Tammy right? Show us your panties, Lisa. I lifted all my skirts and bared my shameful Disney princess underwear. The other girls laughed at me. Oh my God, Gina said with a smirk. Well, they're partly pink. I would say Lisa's Cinderella panties are blue, or multicolored, Tammy's mom said. No one guessed correctly, so Lisa wins. The other girls called me Cinderella for the rest of the game. It was so stupid that I don't even remember who won for Gina's and Ramona's panties, or what color they were. I just wanted the game, and the day, to end as soon as possible. When all of us had showed off our panties, Gina's mother offered each of us a pink iced cupcake with our girl's name written on it in white icing. I took a big bite of Lisa, wishing I could make my female identity disappear as quickly and easily as the cupcake did. When we finished the pink cupcakes, Tammy's mom announced the next game, Spin the Bottle. We knelt on the floor around an empty bottle. Each of us had to spin it in turn and had to kiss whoever it pointed to. Not just kiss, Tammy's mom said. Both of you will stand, curtsy to each other, take the other girl's hands, and give her a nice kiss on the lips. While you kiss, the rest of us will count, and you have to keep kissing until we reach 3. After your kiss, curtsy again and kneel back down. The game will last until each of you has kissed all the other girls at least twice. Ramon's mom will keep track of your kisses. Gina spun first. The bottle pointed to Tammy. They rose, curtsied, kissed 1, 2, 3. Curtsied again, and knelt. Smooth out your dresses when you kneel, girls, my mom said. Tammy spun the bottle. It pointed at Ramona. Shit, said Ramona under her breath. Ramona, her mother snapped. Ramona didn't respond. Tammy stood and curtsied. Ramona did not. Ramona, his mother said. Stand. He slowly stood, but he refused to curtsy to Tammy. This is bullshit, man, he said in his normal voice. I'm not a girl, I'm a man. We shouldn't have to wear this shit. He was having trouble controlling his hoop skirt, which swayed back and forth in a way that almost made me laugh. Ramona's mother walked up to him and slapped him across the face. She said something to him in rapid Spanish, which I didn't speak, but it was easy to tell she was unhappy with him. In the end he said, "Si, mama," and curtsied to Tammy. He almost balked again at the kiss, but allowed Tammy to kiss him while we counted to 3. Ramon wiped his lips on the back of his hand. His mother squawked at him and redid his lipstick. It was Ramona's turn now, and his spin pointed to me. I stood quickly and waited for him to stand. When he did, I took my skirts in my hands and waited for him to do the same. He reluctantly did. I lifted my skirts, waited for him to do the same, and then bent my knees and straightened them. He made a clumsy curtsy, still struggling with the hoops under his dress. I stepped up to him and kissed him. The others counted to 3 more slowly this time. He broke the kiss half a second early, but it was close enough. He didn't wipe his lips this time. I spun the bottle. It pointed to whoever, it doesn't matter. The game seemed designed to embarrass us as much as possible. As we played, we began mocking it by moving faster and faster. Hop up, quick curtsy, kiss 1, 2, 3, quicker curtsy, the next spin, hop up, quick curtsy. Eventually we were laughing at our antics, and a little of the tension leaked out of the room. Tammy's mom decreed that it was time for food again. Hot dogs. Ballpark footlongs, with condiments and buns and a spray can of whipped cream? Before we could begin, she explained the rules. Tammy with Lisa, Gina with Ramona. Each of you will take a hot dog, squirt some whipped cream on one end, and feed that end to your partner. She has to lick or suck off all the whipped cream without breaking the skin of the hot dog. Then she will do the same to you. After that, have all the hot dogs you want, ladies. I doubt any of us were old enough to have experienced oral sex, but it was obvious to all of us what the hot dog and whipped cream represented. I was surprised our mothers chose to embarrass us in such an explicit way. It worked. I felt myself blushing. We all sucked off the whipped cream, though Ramon spat it out rather than swallow it afterwards. I slathered my dog with mustard, relish and onions to get rid of the taste of whipped cream, but every bite was embarrassing. More stupid girl games. Pin the petticoat on the princess, with blindfolds. A curtsy contest, who can hold her curtsy the longest. Gina. A makeup contest, with winners for best, Tammy, and most original, Gina, who turned herself into a vampire maid, and had to redo her makeup afterwards. A dress swap, where we had to take off our dress, swap it with one of the other girls, and model her dress for everyone. Our moms made us vote on whose dress was prettiest, and Tammy's won. The moms wanted each of us to trade dresses with all the other girls, but it turned out that my dresses and Tammy's were a bit too small to fit Gina and Ramona, so I never got to wear Ramona's hoop skirt or the maid's uniform that Gina wore. Which was just fine with me. Tammy's mom served tea, accompanied by almond scones, little triangular cucumber and smoked salmon sandwiches with no crust, and macarons in various flavors. We all sat around a table and practiced sitting up very straight and arranging our dresses gracefully and being very polite and ladylike, holding out our pinky while sipping tea and nibbling delicately at the sandwiches and sweets instead of wolfing them down the way boys our age normally would. We exchanged compliments on each other's looks, and politely passed things around the table, and let our mothers dominate the light conversation. As they chatted, the four of us slowly sank into lethargy. I felt exhausted. Less from physical effort than from the mental anguish of being dressed as a girl, having to use girls' names, having to move and behave like a girl. Swishing around the room in my petticoats. Hearing my heels clicking on the floor. Kissing other girls who weren't girls. Wearing another girl's dress. Being ladylike at tea. It was just too much. I felt crushed. Turned into a girl against my will. Forced into panties and a ridiculous training bra and double petticoats and a little girl's dress. Having to play idiotic games like spin the bottle and what color are my panties? Giving a hot dog a blow job. The whole idea of having a petticoat party. This stupid party was the lowest point in my life since my mom and dad split up. Our mothers were deliberately punishing us with embarrassment and humiliation. I wasn't sure I could ever face my 3 friends again. There were too many mental images I wished I could unsee, starting with the dresses they all wore. I thought my dress was over the top, but theirs were even more so. Poor Tammy, so convincing as a girl. Poor Gina in her maid's uniform, flashing her panties every time she bent over. Poor Ramona, in his hand-me-down ball gown. All those ruffles looked hot to wear, and made it harder for him to kneel and rise while playing the games. Well, girls, one last treat, ice cream, said Tammy's mom. We all dutifully screamed for ice cream, which of course was pink. Gina playfully squirted some whipped cream on top of her scoop, but none of the rest of us did. I was too embarrassed. Now, while you're enjoying the ice cream, I want each of you to say one nice thing about each of the other 3 girls. Something you like about them, or that you admire, or that makes them pretty. Starting with Lisa. Ugh. Only a mother's mind could come up with twisted stuff like this. I thought quickly and said Tammy was the smallest and cutest, Gina was the best at makeup, and Ramona was the tomboy, the one who had to work the hardest to be feminine. Ramona said I was the prettiest, but I don't think he meant it as a compliment. Gina said I had the best legs, which of course was embarrassing. Tammy said I was the friendliest and had the nicest hair. I think she meant longest hair, most of which wasn't mine. But it was nice to hear her call me friendly. I needed a friend, even if she was a girlfriend who was actually a boy. At our mother's urging, we all shared hugs and kisses while saying goodbye. By now, kissing a boy in lipstick was less of a shock. I'd probably had to do it 20 times today. Except for the shame of it, it wasn't all that different from kissing a girl. As the party broke up, Tammy's mother said to my mom, "So, are you all ready for next week?" "We will be by Saturday," Mom said. It's a lot of work, but if it keeps Lisa and her pretty little friends out of trouble, it'll be well worth it. Bye, Gladys. Bye, Valerie. Bye, Lisa. Be a good girl for your mom. I got in the car and smoothed out my dress and folded my hands in my lap, the way Mom liked me to. She started the car and headed home. I asked her, "What's happening Saturday, Mom?" "Oh, the next petticoat party. At our house. Didn't I tell you?" "What, there's going to be another one?" "Of course. Every Saturday, all summer, until you go into 9th grade in September. A petticoat party every week?" "Aw, Mom, please don't make me wear this dress again." I know. You're definitely going to need more party dresses. You and I will go shopping before next Saturday. Dillard's is advertising 50% off on girls' spring frocks. I wonder if I should get you another petticoat, too.